The little Asian girl told Chris Rock, what's his name? Chris Rock? No, Chris Tucker. Push your button. Dang, let's see.
Meeting and streaming live on Facebook.
We're live again. Gotta turn the music off.
Oh, all right, hold on.
We're gonna get kicked out, literally.
Yo, they don't play on Facebook.
Oh, they kicked us out last time for the music. We was turned up and jamming. They was like, no, we ain't having none of that. Y'all don't own the rights. They sent Shelby an email. You don't own the rights to this song.
Okay. I heard that.
So it said we live.
We are. We are live. I'm looking at it on the page. Whew.
Hey, Pink Squad.
Thank y'all,
Hey,
Pink Squad.
Your girl is frustrated because I done did everything under the sun to try to make this happen, and it's stressing me out. I have to have a drink. Here's to the podcast.
Oh my God.
Here's
What
to
the
being
drink is
stressed
that,
out.
Shelby?
Here's to it going down. Here's to my stress level.
Oh, Lord. Hey, Tamika Rainey.
Here's to my iWatch that told me I was
That's our
stressed out.
faithful. That's our faithful one right there. Tamika is our faithful.
Tamika Rainey be the first one on the last, 4, maybe 5 podcasts. The first.
She's going to give us one more chance. We was running for 10 o'clock, Tamika. We was almost at 10.
Listen, we was about to send out a
Hey,
message.
Tamika.
Hey, report back at 10 with your jammies on. Rollers in your hair, do-rags on.
It's gonna be like that Martin movie, Talking Dirty After Dark.
Yeah.
It's Freaky Friday. Men on the page too.
It's Cuts with Your Friday.
Oh yeah. Fucks with your Friday.
Everybody having a great day. I'm not stressed out. Well, you know what? It was just a bad moment. I'm not gonna let that have my whole day.
Mm-hmm.
I was
we
having
got-
issues with Zoom earlier
That moment
too.
sure lasted a long time. Thank God quit on us. God done gave up on us. Poor guy.
Might be asleep. He was in his truck.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he might have to start driving. Remember, because he said he was
Wow.
only on a 2-hour break.
Oh, okay.
He said it's 2 hours. Once he did 2 hours, then he could hit the road. So he was riding it out. So I wonder if his 2 hours was up.
I don't know.
Oh,
but
God, well, we miss you, guys.
Let's just shout out to God for even trying to attempt.
Yes, he patiently waited. Thank you, Guy.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Maybe we can give him a special moment during the week, Shelby.
Yeah.
Well,
Tamika, we didn't have 3 drinks waiting on us too.
And don't tell
but
them
what
what
I
we gonna
wanted
say.
let's just cover this base. So since we got the room periodically during the week, let's just do just a little discussion about whatever in the room. So one of the topics of conversation we can just have, instead of having it post, we can just take the topic to the room. So we can start that week if y'all want.
Well, it's up to the pink ladies. It's the y'all thing.
Of course. Absolutely. But
Hey.
I think that'll be something cool.
Yeah, Damien, she wasn't directing that towards you, I don't think.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
Give me a break.
you're part of the Pink Squad and you matter. Pink Squads matter. Y'all matter.
Oh, Pink Squad.
I'm not gonna let you, I don't want you to feel like you don't matter, but you know, I wasn't talking to you, it's my bad. I should have specified. That's definitely my bad. How many people we got on, Jennifer? We ready to start?
We keep talking between 8 and 10.
Okay, so Mr. Damien, since you're our special guest, please introduce yourself. Tamika, you and your husband, and then Jennifer, you and your husband, Thomasina, and then Simona. If y'all would introduce yourself, please.
All right. My name's Damien. I'm from Maryland. 44 years old, married with a stepson. And I'm a CNA.
Nice.
Okay.
You're essential.
You took the words out of my mouth. You're an essential worker.
Thank you, Damien.
Here's to
You're welcome.
Damien.
Don't fall out over there.
You gotta tell us twice.
Okay.
Confused, so.
Oh, well, come on, babe. We need to cheers to Damien. So we are Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. I am Tamika. This is.
Brent.
You had to think about it.
Yeah, I'm 3-4 drinks in now. Shoot, I mean,
That's what I'm about to say. He got
what you go, this what you gonna get.
We have been married for almost 16 years, 16 in July,
Congratulations.
and we have 3 boys, a 16, a 14, and a 10. 10,
Oh,
10
Lord.
is the
Y'all
grown.
having
He's the
fun.
grown.
Y'all having a lot of fun.
Yes.
Get on.
All right, and I'm Jennifer Calhoun, and this is my
Edward.
husband, Edward Calhoun.
Right.
And we have been married. You want to tell them for how long?
15 years.
15 years. Woo!
Woo! I remember I wasn't invited to your wedding, Edward.
What?
And I don't know. So Edward, let me just talk to you real quick about it. I'm still kind of bitter about it, but I wasn't invited to your wedding. But look who the people she invited. But look who been down. You know what I'm saying? Yes, me and Jennifer have our, but I'm still down. You know what I'm saying? So look, and I wasn't invited to the wedding. I'm just saying, let's drink to the not being invited to the wedding.
Don't drink to that.
Don't drink to that. Don't drink to that, Edward.
I'm drinking to whatever.
Don't drink because there ain't nothing to drink to.
Is that so?
But tell her the reason why she wasn't invited, though. I guess.
Well, we couldn't invite no more than 100.
And
And
was
if anybody was staying in the room, we was gonna get a fine or
we was gonna have to pay
Right,
overages.
right.
And the overages wasn't a regular, it was like added overages
100
per
people.
person. So we can only have 100 people.
Right.
So I'm sorry, friend.
But all I'm saying is,
But
the people
Shelby,
you
don't
the people
feel
you
bad.
chose over me, they ain't
Shelby,
what they
don't
at.
feel bad,
I'm
friend.
still here.
I had the audition for the wedding.
He was sung at our wedding. Tamika Rainey, who was on the page, was at our wedding
right?
I had the audition.
in the
She said,
parking lot.
what can you sing? Sing it right now. Let me hear you.
In the parking lot.
Hey, what can you sing? I need to hear it. Before I put you on the invite list, I need to hear what you can sing.
Okay. Before you get put on program.
On the program.
Oh.
All right,
Yeah.
Tina.
Can't hear you, TT.
Yeah, I'm.
We'll come back to it. I forgot.
This is Thomasina Parker. Hi, you guys. I'm glad you guys are here. I don't know how many of you are here. Invite your friends, share if you can.
Yeah,
Host, create a watch party, please, for us. We greatly appreciate you guys joining us this evening. I hope you're blessed and you are faring well these days. And go ahead, Simona, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Simona. I am a mother of twins that are 16 years old, a boy and a girl, and they are great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell about our kids. We got so excited.
Too late.
13-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter who's about to get choked out because she didn't do her work this week. She homeschooling. She causing me to drink more.
10 years old?
10.
Yeah, mine is 9. He's doing the same thing. I had to jack him up today.
You
Tell
don't
him what
feel
he
bad.
didn't want to do his work. Yeah, okay. You can do it as long as I'm in here.
Hey, put it down, Daddy.
He said, yeah, okay.
Down. No.
I'm Sylvia. I don't have those issues. My kids are 26 and 28. I do have a 2-year-old granddaughter. She works. She went from being perfectly fine to terribly too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Terribly too. She's
Mhm.
terribly too. And she's super
That happens.
smart. And when I tell her something, she always tell me, I'm fine. I'm fine. So yeah, she's fine. So guys, welcome to Pink Ladies Talk. I'm glad you guys are here. we are honored to have the men amongst us today. Thank you, men, for joining us.
Mhm.
Your input is always appreciated. We have a topic of conversation that, one of our topics of conversations that we had on the page. We had it last maybe 2 weeks ago. And we wanted to get the men's input on it. I mean, men, of course, men talked about it. We wanted to get to the men's input on it, and just talk and just really have a full blown discussion about it. Basically, it's actually a couple of topics since we got y'all here at 10 o'clock at night. We might as well just chit chat about it. The first one was about Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what the first one was about?
It was about the family, what happened to the families.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a picture that you posted, and it was a 2-part picture. The top half of the picture had the perfect family, or what people think to be the perfect family,
Right.
of the husband, the wife, and the kids, on just a regular picture. And it looks like a picture from maybe the 70s, 80s,
60s.
and then 60s. Okay. And then you see the bottom half of the picture, a completely different lady with all her kids by herself, but no daddy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a topic of discussion.
So the question on that topic was, what happened? Like from 1960 to today, what happened? Why in 1960 it was the mother, the father, and the kids, and now in 2020 you very rarely see the father. You just see the mother with a whole lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wanted to just get your views on what you think happened. So I want to start with the Thomases, and then Damien, if you would, Simona, Calhouns, and Thomasina.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
I think when I responded, I talked about the whole family dynamic and how much the family dynamic has changed for everybody. And I'm talking about even from like superstars to just regular people to everyday people. Like the dynamic has changed. A lot of people aren't looking for family. You hear a lot of these superstars who want children. They ain't looking for a husband, but they want children. So I think so many of the family dynamics has changed. So we have a different outlook now. You don't have the same outlook as back then where you had daddy going to work and mama was staying at home with the kids. Now it's like everybody need to work. I just think the whole dynamic has changed with families.
And I mean, as far as what I think it's just, if you choose to be together, then that's just what you're gonna do. I mean, somebody could have their differences back in the day, but your people stuck together. Yeah, daddy may have crept out. Yeah, mama may have crept out. But hey, no matter who those kids was, they were still together with them same two people. So now it's like people, they just choose, it's easy. Okay, well, we want to break up, so we're gonna get a divorce. Now, back in the day, them vows stood for what they stood for. And now people don't stand by them vows.
Okay, well, my feedback is actually a couple things. Number one, we have very poor role models right now. If you look at these god-awful shows like, I know I'm gonna get shot, but the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Basketball Wives or whatever, those particular women, they show a lot of disrespect towards their men. And if you look around, a lot of women are carrying on that tradition, well, I'll just get rid of you, and they cussing their men out, they doing this and they doing that. And so the man has walked away. I know I could only take but so much of that, and I would be gone. I would take care of my children, but I wouldn't be there. So along with poor role modeling, also think that the family dynamic, they're trying to change it now to where they don't need men anymore. We're becoming, I would say, as straight men, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but as straight men, we're being phased out. You know, now it's about the gay man, and it's about the cross-dressing and all that mess that's going on. And as straight men, we're being called toxic men, because we stand for what we stand for. And I just think that we're being disregarded now. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Nobody wants to hang in there like you were speaking of. Nobody wants to hang in there. Nobody wants to. The family dynamic is pretty much shot. That's what I think.
Okay, that's what's up. Tina? Cena? Simona?
I'm gonna jump in. I believe between now and 1960 and in today's world, there's more opportunities for a woman to grow, more in corporate, and with her role being changed, it calls for her to work more and not to be at home as much and back as in the 60s. And as a homemaker and holding all those things as a homemaker, we're due plus work. So the role that as women has changed, and it's always good for everybody to grow in that type of economic change. And then the finances has changed. There's more opportunity to make money. So why not just have one person making the money and both individuals can make the money? So the women for the roles for women has changed. And the financial stability has changed. Both partners have to work in regards to making sure what they want in life is there, or if it's not even a situation where it's both parties, it's just to have the income to meet their needs. That's what caused it to change, is the role for women to grow.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Calhoun, welcome back. It's on you. You're muted.
Okay. I was saying 1 second, we just got back in. I went friends, I was like, ah! My internet crashed. I don't know. I'm back in. All right. So it says what really happened. I just think that the hustle and bustle of the times have changed, as far as, from relationships. People give up so quickly. So there's no one staying family. It's nothing out there that's keeping them together. Before you used to have your other family members, girl, oh, that's Joe, just go on home, everything gonna be all right. You had people in your corner that was rooting you on. Now it's the fact of, Gary, if I was you, I would leave him alone. That support isn't there anymore. The loyalty isn't there anymore. Before, I'm sure, back in the day, he could lose all the money gambling and your granny would still be there. Oh, that's all right, Joe, whatever. The loyalty is gone. I think a lot of women now are more independent, so they feel like they don't have to keep them around. They take so much and then they quickly give up. So I think that has a lot to do with it. What do you think, babe?
That child support payment has a lot to do with it. Let's just be truthful now. Let's break it all down. I want to break it down. Dust just pop off the ground.
All right, we're on the podcast.
Anyways, it's that payment. And you're right, the loyalty issue, that's null and void. In other words, they're not respecting their vows as far as staying together. So that's a lost cause. So let's find out, let's see what I can do with this dude. And in other words, keep the payments rolling. That'll help me with my bills and so on and so forth over here. Don't care about him. In other words, he's so pushed to the side, he ain't even a voice in the situation no more. And that's the truth. And as far as support, here's her family, her friends, her associates, and perhaps an enemy or two gonna tell her, make him pay.
Yep.
The next thing you know, he downtown somewhere. And he got those payments coming. He broke, and he got to figure out ways in order to live. She may have 3 or 4 kids by him. It is what it is, you know, and it's sad, but the truth.
Yep.
Child support system is very broken, very broken.
See now?
Okay, so just thinking about the actual post and like what happened to this woman per se, or to the picture. I think we lost a lot of men. I think we lost a lot of our men. It wasn't because she was talking smart. It's because we lost a lot of our men to war. We lost a lot of our men to prison. We lost a lot of our men to drugs. We lost a lot of our men. And when you can't roll over and die, you have to move on, right? You have to establish yourself, and you have to try to do more for yourself and your kids. And so one would probably think on the outside looking in that we don't need you. Oh, we need you. We need you desperately, but we can't roll over and die if you're not there. So when you see that woman saying, I'm strong, I'm this, it's because she had to be in a lot of cases. Do we want to be? Absolutely not. Do we all want to be damsels in distress and, oh, let my man do this? We want to do that, but some people don't have the time or the luxury to do so. So I'm coming from that perspective. When I look at the picture, I just see a woman with 3 kids, right? We don't know what happened. It could have been because of her, who knows? But from the time span of the year, there's a lot that has happened to men, Black men especially, that we've lost. So a lot of times we think we don't have a lot to choose from. And guys, I know y'all know some trifling men that y'all know. And y'all know the kind of stuff they do to women. Yep. So I know y'all know them personally. I know you do. And we've lost a lot of men. Now, there's some bad females, absolutely. But we've lost men to a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We really have. And so, again, when I look at that picture, I just see a woman trying to raise her kids. But that male is no longer in the picture, and I'm sure it's not because she don't want him to be.
Yeah.
Who chooses that?
I also think, and I'm not sure if it was said already because we got kicked out the page, but I think a lot of people, they think the grass is green on the other side, and they're like, she look good. I know Tamika Rainey had just posted about side chicks, and he, ends up just staying with her and ditching the woman. Same thing with the woman. She sees a man who's looking good, got plenty of money, and she leaves her husband for somebody else because he or she thinks the grass is greener on the other side, and it really isn't. So I think a lot of that has to do with it. What you think?
I think there's a lot of issues involved there, and it's a use and abuse type situation. A lot of people, just like you were saying something about the shortage of men, Thomasina. Yeah, that's true. We lost a lot of men in the Vietnam War. We're losing a lot now to AIDS, coronavirus that's going on at this moment, so on and so forth. But even though that's facts, you still got men left that are good men. And a lot of those good men get abused by women. You said already, as far as men not being no good, there's women in the same category. A lot of us good men have gotten hurt by them. And a lot of us men got children by other women. And a lot of us men are being abused by those women. And we could be in current relationships with somebody else or by ourselves. And so you have to be careful in your selection process, because if you don't have certain experience, prayer, then you always gonna pick wrong. You're always gonna fall short somewhere. you got to recognize a good thing when you got it, because it's hard out here.
Hard in these streets. Oh,
You gotta believe it.
so Guy, what we were talking about is, I don't know if you remember the post that we posted, that it was like from 1960 to current. So on the pictures, it said, it was a picture of a family, the husband, the wife, the kids. And then below, it was a picture of a woman and 3, 4, 5 kids. And the statement said, what happened? And so we just wanted to know, we just wanted your perspective on what happened. What do you think that happened between 1960 and now, where the mother is holding it down by themselves?
I didn't see that post, but my perspective as far as that go is we coming to the area of technology where videos have started, reality series have started leading people's lives. People lead their lives according to what they see on TV, on these videos, on reality TV and all this type of stuff. Music, it's just with that influx of in the 80s of gangster music. I remember it was a time where women didn't want a man if she felt he was too nice. You know, she wanted that thug life type of dude. So when dudes start being that way and start being disrespectful and rude, later on, when you got these women liberation movements and everybody starting to realize that this is not how I should be treated as a woman, as a queen, now it's too late, because now you got these kids who come up seeing, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be. Women are raising their kids. This is how you're supposed to be, like your daddy. Ain't shit. This is who you're supposed to be like, right? So now you got women nowadays who want to be treated like they should be treated, like queens. They're not being treated like queens because most of these dudes grew up with in a type of fashion that is rude, disrespectful, and they just don't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? So is it wrong? Yes, but TV and the media played a big part of that, of why we are the way we are now.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. When you said the women's, movement, the women's empowerment, the liberation, I think that really kind of started it, because that was around in that era. And I think more people became bolder, and they were like, I'm not taking it. And they became comfortable, and it became the norm. And I think that started it. Great point.
Well, for me, my grandmother raised me. And I think my grandmother was a bitter Black woman. I think my grandpa, he was a player from the Himalayas, and he hurt my grandmother really bad, because all I can remember my grandmother saying is man ain't shit, from the word say go. That was her words, and you got to learn how to hold your own self down. You got to learn how to do everything for yourself, because you can't depend on a man, because he might be here, he may not be here. You know what I'm saying? So in my head, it was embedded, it was chiseled in me that a man from the beginning, from the word say go, she used the word from the word say go, which means from the beginning, they ain't shit, they ain't nothing. You got to focus on you. You got to make stuff happen for you, right? Now, my mom, on the other hand, when she would, pop in and out, she would tell me, your grandma's a little hard on men. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, even though what she's saying may have some validity to it, she a little hard on men. But so for me, I was like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Do I just go get it for myself, or hope that I get a brother that's gonna hold me down, that I can be married to, and I can have kids and clean the house, and that I can have a family with. But me looking out and being a part and just living life, it was kind of leaning toward what my grandma was saying. You know what I'm saying? Because the men that I ran into, they was cheating, they was doing whatever. So I couldn't see myself having a family. So I had to hold myself down. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take care of Shelvia. And then when I got pregnant I'm not gonna say by the scum of the earth because you might be watching. You know, I kind of scraped low. But when I got pregnant, I really had to step my game up. You know what I'm saying? I really had, so when my grandma taught me, I had to intensify it because now it's not just me. It's me and somebody else that's relying on me. So I had to step my game up. I had to make different decisions. I had to date differently. You know, now I got a kid, so I can't even just date, you know, the thug no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, God know I was in that thug life, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I can't even date the thug no more because now I have a child that's watching me. So I had to change all that stuff. And so I just got to the point where I didn't even date no more because I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to bring around my kids. I didn't want my kids to see, you know, the transactions or the gunfire, or I didn't want my kids to see none of that. So I didn't even date. I didn't start dating until my youngest one got maybe like 12, 13, 14 years old. So I think in life, the stuff that you experience, you know, that could be the factor of why there's no men in her bottom picture. And the fact, my question is for her, if you don't have no man in your picture, why you keep popping them babies out? That was my question. Because when I realized my baby daddy, and if you're watching, my bad, I scraped the scum of the earth to have my baby. When I scraped the scum of the earth, I didn't want to have no more kids. Like, that kind of did it for me. You know, I was like, I'm done. You know, why you keep popping these babies out and you don't have no father? That was my question for the picture that I saw. So at that point, you gotta start taking some responsibilities for your actions. Yeah, the man is not available. Yeah, we're looking at the TV. Yeah, we're basing our life off what we see on television. Yeah, you know, we were raised, then a man ain't nothing. But at what point, as the woman in that picture, did you just say, enough is enough? I'm not having no more kids, but that's why I said, I'm not having another child unless it's with my husband. And if he don't come before I'm 35 years old, he ain't having no kids by me. And guess what? He ain't having no kids by me. But that's just my input on that topic.
I have a quick question. You bring up a really good point, Shelby, when you talk about the man. And Brent, we see your glove. We see you.
Oh my, thank you. Cause listen, if he bring another Cowboys thing up in this room, do you hear me? He didn't try to show y'all the watch, the gloves, the damn banner, the scarf, the hat.
That boy love him some Cowboys. That's my brother-in-law, boy. I tell you.
Here we go. It's a show.
Oh, there you go. Crazy. But what I was saying, Shelby, is you bring up a really good point. At what point do you think, and why, and this is for everybody, why do you think the men gave up so quickly on their children? Like, what did it? You know, like, I get not being with the mom, right? But at what point was it okay to say, you know what, that ain't my baby and I'm done. You do you, I do me. Like, when did that start and why?
Issues. It got to the point that it just got too overbearing.
So he walked away from his kids?
Sometimes a woman can be very disrespectful and you get to a point you get tired of it. So to keep from hurting this woman or doing something to her or whatever, yeah, you need to go and get away. But then sometimes that affects the relationship between you and her, which involves the kids, because she's gonna make you pay. So in order to make you pay, I'm gonna shut you down from the kids. And at the same time, how you out here paying support.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is,
you're not gonna go through it by any means necessary. You're not going to it thick and thin, good or bad, sick or poor. You know, for all them things that they say, people are not doing that no more.
Yeah.
You know, even it's certain things that you can get past. Financial, not everybody is good at finance. Okay.
Right.
You might have one person that's great, but one person might be bad. So y'all equal each other out. You might have two bad people, and it's rare that you have two good people. That may not be your only issue. It may be, I like to go eat tacos and I got high blood pressure. So if I get on at that person, my spouse is telling me, well, don't eat tacos. Well, you're getting on my nerves. Let's get a divorce. You know, it could be anything nowadays. Seriously, these people act like that they get married just to hook up. And you know what I'm saying? Get you, let me try to be with this one person. But for any faults that it is, and of course, you know, cheating is the extreme, and you know, but people have gotten over cheating. Okay, people, if you want to stick to your vows, then you will. If you believe you put God first in your life, and you live by the book and what it tells you, then you can almost get over anything. You know, it may be a few things a person might have that I might not be able to get over cheating. I might not be able to get over you being a crackhead, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, certain things a person may not be able to get over, but majority of things I think people should be.
I think that too. Also, when it comes to the child support thing and men walking away from their children, I don't think sometimes, and I'm just saying sometimes, I don't think they're walking away from the children. I think a lot of people walk away from the situation. I don't really think, and then I think what happens is because the children are there and involved, they're suffering. You know, I'll just be personal. I used to feel like even when my mom and dad got a divorce, I felt like he walked away from us. You know, and he may not have, he didn't forever, but for a while, because things may have been tough. Y'all not gonna agree on stuff, divorce or whatever may not have been good. So I think a lot of the times, and even if it ain't even marriage, it's a lot of women out here that give men a hard time. And I'm just being straight up honest. I've seen it. I've worked in the child support office, and it's a lot of women who just give men a hard time, period. You know, and they try to do the right thing, but they don't, you know. So I think sometimes it's walking away from the situation. And then what happens is when you walk away from the situation, the kids, they, you know, they're a part of that. So they suffer from that. Mom and daddy acting crazy, but what about me? You know, now I'm left out of the picture because mom and daddy acting crazy. They can't get along. Mama won't let me see daddy, you know, or whatever. Or daddy got the kids and won't let them see their mama. So I think sometimes it's just the situation they walking away from, not actually the kids, but the kids are affected.
So let's take go ahead, Shelby.
I was gonna say I agree a lot with Brent, the Thomas Cowboy. I agree with him. I agree with him to the point where it is so easy right now just to walk away. In marriages, in relationships, it's just so easy to say, "Oh, you tripped over my foot and my foot hurt. Okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more." Oh, you know, whatever the case may be, it's just so easy just to call it quits because I don't need you. See, back in the day, the older people was taught that you stick in that thing through thick and thin, no matter what. You know, we wasn't taught that. You know, I wasn't. I was taught, you know, of course I got the heart to love, but I was taught to stay on your own 2 feet. It is easy for me, and even for me, like, you know, when I think about my past relationships, you know, I used to try to hang in there, you know, but then when I started going through the cheating and wanting to kill somebody, you know, because they cheated, going through all that stuff, to me, it just wasn't worth it. So then I just didn't try to be. Now, when I started seeing the past come to the future, you know what I'm saying, the little signs, and you know, oh yeah, I called you 3 to 4 times today and you ain't called me back, or you ain't answered the phone. When I start seeing those signs, then I automatically be like, you know what, I'm not gonna deal with this because I already know what these signs are. So, but in retrospect, it could have been something, the phone broke, or you know, the service got cut off. But I don't know that. All I know is it reminded me of what happened last year and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It's easy just to shoot the deuce at the situation and be out instead of just standing for something. You know, just standing and say, you know what, no matter what, I'm just gonna stick in this thing. No matter what, I'm gonna stick in this thing. And I think that I'm with Brent. It's just easy to walk away.
Now, we have a couple words from some of our viewers that are on the page. Yolanda McIntyre said drugs were a turning point. Your area where you grew up and family structure represented the mindset for young men and young ladies and how they how they perceive life when they reached a certain age. So I think somebody had talked about that. You know, was that Brent talking about people being on crack?
Yeah.
You mentioned it too? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Fernice mentioned, you know, to have a good relationship, you both have to want it to work. And it takes both of them to do the work to get back on track. And to get committed. Yep.
Mhm.
Got to be committed.
Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, I know as far as me, I grew up when I moved from Miami to San Antonio, I grew up on the east side, stayed in the projects. And the dynamic was, you know, east side brothers was the brothers to be with back then because they was the gangsters, they was the real ones. They was the ones who was kicking up all the dirt. So you had the ones coming from the north side, west side, south side to the east side to try to get with these brothers. Well, the brothers over there, because I was one of them, we lived our life according to what we seen on TV, right? Growing up with old school cats who taught us the game, you know, and taught us how we should be, but it wasn't the right way of growing up. You know what I'm saying? Now they taught us about street life, but they didn't teach us about real life. You see what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, as far as men walking away from their kids, a man should never, a man should never walk away from their kids. There is no justified reason for a man to walk away from his child. I did 12 years, 6 in the Fed, 6 in the state, and it killed me to be away from my kids, right? But what even got me even deeper was when I came home and my daughters told me they don't hold that against me. You know what I'm saying? And that we can start on a new slate. And I promised them from that day I would never forsake them. I would never leave them. I'm always be there as long as I got breath in my body, right? So now I got, you know, I'm married. I've been married going on 13 years, been with my wife 15 years, right? And we had a daughter. And my thing is to raise my daughter right. Now, I can't raise my daughter how her mother could raise her. She needs her mother's input as well. She needs her father's input. It takes two. I remember back in the old days, they said it take a village to raise a child. And that is true. I can't take, if me and my wife for some reason was to go our separate ways, I would never try to take my daughter from her mom because she needs her mom. My daughter has an understanding that her mom comes first. I would never put my kids above my wife. That is the apex right there. She comes before my kids. So my daughter understands that she's 13 years old and she has an understanding better than some adults. It's your mom, then you. We're going to give you everything you need to be successful. That's our job as parents. But you do not come before your mom. So I see a lot of these parents putting their kids before their significant other. That is a bad move. It sets a bad precedence. Do not do that. And that is something that I would tell all parents. Never put your child above your significant other because you're setting them up for failure is what you're doing.
Sure is. True.
So I teach my daughter that, and I teach in the ways that, you know, I don't sugarcoat things with her. You know, I got grown daughters, they know what it is. But my 13-year-old, I really have to show her, like, look, this is a mean, cruel world. Everybody you meet is not gonna like you. Most of the people you meet gonna talk about you.
Right.
And don't give a damn. They only care what they can get out of you. And so it takes me as a man to be there for my daughter as well as it takes for her mom. So I have 4 daughters by 4 different women. I was a hoe growing up, right? I had so many women chase me. I was a hoe growing up. And so I never felt the need to be in a relationship. And so, you know, every other year a baby was coming, right? And so, and I probably was saved by getting locked up because I probably have a tribe out here. But the thing I would just lead us on, man, is that it takes two, and no matter if you're not getting along with your sons or your daughter's mother or father, you know, it takes both of y'all, and the child needs to see y'all getting along. Even if y'all not getting along, they need to see y'all getting along, and it'll help them in the long run, whether y'all together or not, you know.
So let me ask this question to you guys, and we're gonna start with Damien, the Calhouns, Parker, Simona, Thomas. In 2020, what do you think we can do? I mean, God gave his input. What do you think we can do now? Like, what can we change now? So if you can talk to, let's just say you talk to a young man or a young woman that come to you and they're asking you like, so what do I do now? What can I do now to get back that family life? What would you tell them?
It's a good question. I would say we have to take our communities back. We have to become more active, like they were back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s. We have to become the role models that the TV, you know, we have to take that away. The TV garbage and all that other stuff that's going on, that's leading people astray. I think that we have to step up and become those people that our children need. You know, with my stepson, I told him that, you know, he could always come to me and I would always be straight up and down with him. It doesn't matter how, you know, his friends think or what, sometimes even what he may think, you know, I have made it up in my mind that I'm going to be a role model. I'm going to be a role model. I'm going to live my life the way it's supposed to be lived. And so if somebody decides that they want to look up to me, they're looking up to something good. Am I perfect? No, not even a little bit. But we have to start doing what with the media and what these garbage shows, what they're not doing. We're going to have to start to do. We're going to have to do it. It's up to us. That's it. It's up to us to get these kids back on track, to get families back on track. It's up to us.
Okay.
Good points. Can you repeat the question again, Shelby, please?
So if little Shaquita and Tyrone come up to you, they're 19, 20, 21 years old, and they be like, Mr. and Mrs. Calhoun, I want to have a family. I want my wife, I want my husband, and I want my kids to stay together. What do I do? What suggestions, what help do you have for me for us to stay together?
Love unconditionally is one thing that I would tell them. Pick the person that is going to love your heart and love all of you. Make sure that you date this person. Truly date them and get to know them, because that's who you want to live the rest of your life with. Yeah, she could have a big booty, big breast. She could have, you know, the nice weave, the hazel eyes or the contacts, right? Everything on the forefront looks good. But then you have to think about, what is she gonna look like after she pops that baby out? Is she gonna have to start wearing Spanx? If she no longer has that 4-pack, you know, you have to say, is this somebody who I can really be with? Which is why I said you have to date that person, fall in love with the person and not what you see in front of you. The looks are great, right? But you want to fall in love with the genuineness of who they are when that wig comes off and them lashes come off, and, you know, times get rough where somebody may lose their job, you know, all that kind of stuff. So you have to love somebody who's going to love your heart and genuinely wants to be with you and loves all of you. through the quarantine when you ain't got no haircut and your BB starts showing. And I gotta cut his hair.
Wow.
I love my man because I was in there cutting.
You did. You did.
I didn't know what I was doing. But you have to love them unconditionally, truly, when, you know, and you have to preach that to the young people to say, yes, turn out that TV. You know, life ain't gonna be what it's like on the TV. Them people are paid to look like that. Those people are paid to say those things and to pop up at clubs and stuff. You have to turn it off and just, you know, learn each other, which is why I think the quarantine right now is really good for a lot of people in so many ways. The single, the, you know, dating people, the married people. I think it's good for everybody to get to know who you are, what you want. And once you know that, then I think you'll be fine. What you think?
That's big boy business. You're going to another level with that. I mean, you got to be committed. You got to be mature. You got to know as far as the choice you made is a good choice. Because if you don't know, you're about to find out. That could be an expensive mistake. It's a lot of things on that level because I'm married. And so I've been in the game for a minute. I know that's real talk. So I'm gonna tell them the truth, the insides, the outs. At times you're gonna get your feelings hurt and you gotta be able to deal with that. If she get to popping that neck about something or whatever the case may be, you got to be able to deal with that. You can't just haul off and do something crazy. You have to just sit back, just like they say, as you get older, you're supposed to make better choices. You got to learn how to pick your battles. You got to learn how to take it sometime. Kind of take your foot off the brake or gas and just ease into that thing. And then sometimes, like right now, me and her get an argument. It's all about being heard now. It ain't about who winning, because if you got a better idea than I got, we're gonna rock with that.
Yep.
If it definitely makes interest on it, hey, that's a good deal. I'll give you your credit. Hey, that was good. You know, take your ego out. You know, because a lot of times that's gonna get tested at times. You know, so it's a lot of things about this game called marriage. The problem is, are you ready for it? Because like I said, you're going to another level. All them little girls you was chasing, oh, that's over with, bro. It's all about one now. You know, so if she gain weight, lose weight, she look different 5 years from now, whatever, hopefully you still committed.
Oh, baby, that's my baby. Woo!
Okay, baby.
Mr. Parker?
I'd say one of the things that I would say is I think to ask questions, because most times we start in friendships, relationships, we don't ask enough questions. We don't ask, what does this look like for you, right? Even simple stuff like, do you want kids? Or are you open to the idea of being married? Because you all in this loving relationship and this person don't even ever want to.
Uh-oh.
You went out just a second. See,
And she was spitting too, boy.
she was. Well, till we gain her back, but Edward was just chiming in just a minute ago, the representative.
Here she comes.
Oh, there you go, friend.
You back?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't know I went anywhere.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
It's off.
You froze.
Oh, okay. Did y'all hear me say ask questions?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So anyway, ask questions, ask those hard questions. Do you ever have the idea of wanting to be married? Do you want kids? What does this marriage thing look like to you? What are your expectations? Because I don't think people ask enough questions up front, and then you get into these relationships and they crash and burn because your idea is not their idea, because you didn't talk to begin with. And I would say just maintain and be consistent in your love, and not be so up and down. Because no matter whether you agree, argue, fight, I'm supposed to know that you love me at the end of the day. I'm not supposed to feel unloved because we disagree. And so that's pretty much it for me.
The Thomases?
That was good, girl.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah, I say pretty much almost like what Mr. Calhoun and Thomasina said. I think it's very important that you have a friendship, because to me, the friendship is gonna establish your relationship. Because I feel like, I feel like you need to talk. Like, I think that you need to have things in common, but you need to talk, because people like weddings. People like the idea of getting married. And some people don't know it's a lot behind that. It's not just about the show of getting married. It's about the struggle. It's about how you're going to lose some things, how you're going to lose those things together, how you're going to come back and gain more things. Like, to me, it's more about how I don't want to be married for the show or for people to see that I got married. Oh, friend, you married now, or you got a ring now. But it's stuff that comes behind that. And I feel like it's very important that people understand each other and be friends. And listen, it is important that you know that if y'all are equally yoked, because it is important that you believe and he believe in the same things, because that can make or break a marriage. It is important that you know your mate. It's important that you know how your mate is with family. How is your mate with their mama and daddy? How is your mate with their siblings? Like, those things to me are very important, because you can get into a relationship with somebody and those things can make or break that relationship. I feel like you need to be friends first. I'm glad I knew my husband back in high school. I'm glad we dated. I'm glad we broke up. I'm glad we got more mature when we got back together, because then when we got together, we was able to talk. And we had things in common then. But I think that my whole point is, I think it's important that you be friends. Have somebody that you can date and have fun with, get to know if you can have if my grandmother died when I'm dating him, how he comforts me. How do I comfort him when he going through something? Because those are the people that when life happens, when stuff, happens in life, how are you gonna go through that with that person? If he lose his job, if he get handicapped today and I have to push him around in a wheelchair, if he lose his job and I got to go work 2-3 jobs to make the house note, like, those things are important. Because some people, my boyfriend make $100,000 a year this year, because 5 years from now he could be making $30,000.
Okay.
So it's very important that you know a person and y'all have the same things in common. It's very important, because that, to me, that makes and breaks your relationship.
Yeah, you better preach, girl. You better preach.
Only what I know. Only what I know.
Say it.
Just one thing from our viewers. Tamika Rainey chimed in. She said marriage doesn't have a rule book. I like that. It doesn't. Everybody, I think a lot of people think relationships, not just marriages, but relationships should be a certain way because of what you see. Not even just on TV, but let's say your home girl. Her dude brings her flowers every day. So you think that your dude gonna bring you flowers every day?
That doesn't mean
You can't base it off of anybody. It doesn't have a rule book to say that somebody should do XYZ things. It's whatever works for your relationship, what makes you happy specifically.
Right. And
Just to
remember I said the other
what you
day,
said.
it was so funny when I said this the other day, because I was talking about me on my journey, losing weight and doing things. And I would ask him, hey, come walk with me, come walk with me. He would come walk with me. And I would get mad, but then I think about, oh wait, he's not walking with me, but he buying the things that I need. He's cooking the stuff that I need. So in other words, you gotta have that person, like, even if they ain't doing what you think they should be doing, they're doing for you in another type of way.
Right.
But just to piggyback off what you said, Jennifer, the harsh reality is people only show you what they want you to see.
Oh, that's good.
So your friend, the person that you're trying to idolize, the person that you think has the best relationship, the person that you think whose husband is bringing the flowers or he bringing flowers every day, they're only showing you the good part. They ain't showing you that he brought you the flowers because he whooped your butt last night, or he bringing you the flowers because, they're only showing you the good part of the relationship. A lot of people don't show you the bad stuff. They make it seem, they paint this picture like my relationship is all gravy. The only issue we got is, he come home late every now and then. The only issue we have is, you know, just simple little minute issues, but they don't let you see that there's real life issues. You know,
Right.
they paint the picture for you. So you can't base your life off what you think you see, because you only see what people allow you to see.
Yep.
You know, then people don't let you see the ugly. They don't want you to see the ugly. That's why they got filters right today, because they don't want you to see the ugly.
Filters get people in trouble. Listen, I hate filters. It's cool if it's cute. Funny ears, the little noses and stuff. That's called cute. That's obvious. But them filters, woo, because you meet her in person.
But people filter their relationships.
That's true.
They filter their relationship to make it seem like it's one way when it's not. And you're trying to base your life and your relationship off that person, but you don't even know that it's a filter on.
Right.
So you get catfished. you catfish trying to have a relationship off of somebody whose relationship is not even real. You catfish.
Yeah. But you know what? Even I'm gonna just let me say my little part.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Sometimes you gotta drink with that person. Sometimes you might gotta smoke with that person. But when you sober with that person, that lets you know who that person really is. But you gotta be sober with that person. And then you have to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
If you used to get your girl flowers, you better still get her some flowers today.
Hello?
If you used to go out on date night, you better go out on date night. If she take in her coffee 3 sugars and 2 creams, you need to know that.
Hello?
You need to not
Splenda.
put your clothes on the
real.
floor.
My baby knows that, honey. You tell the people at
That's right.
McDonald's
You know what I'm
3
saying?
creams, 2 Splendas.
But on the same side, if you used to do special things for your man, you need to continue to do those special things for your man. If you do something strange for a piece of change,
Oh, Lord. I'm gonna have
then you gotta keep it going. The same thing that got you is the same thing that's gonna get you through. That's what you like about that person. So hey, that's what I did. So let's continue to dig it. Can you dig it?
How much change, brother? Like $40? Because I've been hearing something about
It
$40.
better be worth it. It better be worth it.
I've been hearing something about $40.
I got about 30.
It better
About
be
30.
worth
That's all I can get. You about $30.
$40 is change.
45, 47.
Yeah.
Oh my God, y'all crazy.
Simona, what you got for us over there? Are you still there?
Simona taking it all in. Did it freeze?
What
Simona
about
goes,
Guy? I know you gave us
Yeah.
a little. I know you gave us a little insight earlier.
I would say on that too is if it's a youngsters, like, you know, or anybody for that matter, they come and ask me, you know, what should they do to help get marriage back on track, get the family back on track. I would tell them before they even decide to go down that route, they need to study themselves. When you study yourself, you find out things about yourself that you didn't even know was going on, that you wasn't even conscious to, right? So then you would know, once you know yourself, you would know if you're really ready for marriage. Talk to the elders. You see what I'm saying? And you're right. And once you do get that woman or that man, you can't get relaxed on the things that you were doing when you got that person. That's where a lot of people go wrong at. They get too comfortable in these relationships and they forget everything they was doing in the beginning to capture that person or to capture that moment or that feeling or this love that they had, you know. And a lot of people get bored in relationships because they don't understand what they really have or what it took to keep whatever they did in the beginning, you know. Sometimes it ain't as hard. You know, people don't communicate no more. We don't communicate. I'm a talk. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like there's something wrong, my wife knows. She let me know what's going on. Give me the opportunity to make this thing right. You know what I'm saying? You got to give me that opportunity, because if you keep it away from me, then what happens is it's gonna become a ticking time bomb, right? It's what we call a powder keg effect. You keep building, then you're gonna explode. but you never gave me the opportunity to right the ship in the beginning, you know? So who's at fault? You know, now I could be in the wrong if I do something, but if you don't tell me about it, then you become at fault because you don't give me the opportunity to fix this, you know? So we communicate over on my ship. We're gonna communicate and we're gonna try to make this thing right. Ain't no relationship ever gonna be that perfect, you know, where everything is all peaches and gravy. Sometimes we have our moments. Sometimes she come on because she is a pediatrics nurse and she see a lot and she go through a lot. Sometimes she come on and she just want to talk. She don't want me to say anything. She just want to talk, get some things off her chest. And I understand that because we've been together so long and I'm in tune with her, you know? So I know when she have her moments, or I know when she's come home and she just want to be left alone, you know? And so that's what I do. I give her her space, then I'll come back around, rub her feet or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then we talk about whatever happens that day. You know, she know me, you know, she know when I'm quiet or when something bothered me, because I was terrible growing up, man. I had a real anger issue, you know what I'm saying? But she recognized, and it's amazing how a woman can calm you, man. You know what I'm saying? When you allow her to be your calming mechanism, man, she gonna be that, man. You know, you can't be at ends and always beefing with the one who's supposed to have your back, you know, because, you know, if that's the case, you might as well go ahead and be alone, man. You're gonna be a lonely person for the rest of your life. And I had to learn a lot. She taught me things that a damn psychiatrist couldn't even teach me, man. You know, how to calm myself, you know, sit back and think that the world is not against you, you know, and that the world don't owe you nothing. You know, you got to go out and be a productive member of society like everybody else, you know? And so with that being said, man, I would tell people, man, to study themselves, know what it is that you like, know what it is that you will accept and that you are willing to do within a relationship, because, you know, relationships take a whole lot of work, and marriages take even that much more to make happen. We already know, when they said, the Bible said, when you find a wife, you know what you find
Good
there.
thing.
And so I believe that wholeheartedly. Because my life
But what people don't understand on that scripture, because you know I'm a fool when it comes to scripture, but when it comes to that scripture, it says the man that finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor for God. It's when you find me, not only did you get me, but you got a little favor. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Might be the wine, but you receive favor, so you got a little blessing, a little kickback.
Yeah.
Just because you found me, you know.
Yeah.
You and a lot of men don't really realize that when you pick a wife, when you put away your childish thinking and you say, you know what, it's time for me to pick a wife. When you pick that wife, whether she trash or not, I mean, I'm not saying I'll be the first one to know. I know a lot of women who is trashy. Because I'll be like, Lord, you gave her a husband? Seriously?
Okay. What about me, Lord? What about me?
But I know a lot of women that's trash. I'm not saying that women ain't trash. And I'm not saying that all men is trash. I'm just saying that when the man who found the wife, when you make the decision to make that person your wife, you found the good thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then you turned around and received favor from God. So God gave you favor just because you found a good thing. That's a blessing in itself. That's a blessing for you to put away your childish thinking and start thinking about being a husband instead of a boyfriend.
Yep.
That's
hey,
awesome.
We had a question for you, guy, from the page from Pink Lady Fernice. Hey, Fernice. Get to feeling better, boo. Get to feeling better. She asked, what do you do if you communicate and nothing changes?
When you see, then when you try to communicate with your man and nothing happens, then it may be time to seriously think about other things, you know, because everything starts with communication. Once you shut off communications, then you really don't have nothing. You really don't have nothing. So if I would say, I would hate to, you know, and you don't really want to tell nobody, you know, hey, you may want to think about, because if communication is not happening, you will never be able to advance from the spot that you're at. You're going to remain stagnant without any communication. So you may decide, you know, maybe that person's head is elsewhere. I don't know, but I wouldn't if me and my wife couldn't communicate no more, I would start thinking about, you know, maybe I need to give us some space. Because obviously something ain't right here. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm trying to communicate over and over and she's just not trying to communicate with me, whew, it's kind of tough to do, but I would have to give us some space.
Yeah. Like that.
Moni, you back?
Hey, Moni in the middle.
Moni in the middle. Where she at?
Oh, yeah.
In the middle. Did you hear the
Oh, it still
questions?
says she's connecting. Yeah.
Okay, so if I was to have to address, did everybody answer the question, Simona?
Did Damien?
Yeah, I
Damien,
did.
Damien was the first one to answer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There goes Simona. Simona, did
Okay, sorry about that. My phone froze. My response is that you have to be honest with one another. You know, and not just be honest all the time. And then you have to communicate that. And then not taking one or the other person for granted. Not thinking, oh, this is gonna be that, she's gonna be always this way, and she always gonna accept that. No, or vice versa. Or he's gonna always do this way and it's always gonna be fine. No, it's not. So you have to communicate and not take people for granted and be honest with one another. Because all it does, if you're not being in any of those categories, it's just hurting the other person. It's hurting the appreciation of being loved by one or the other, because one or the other person is not being truthful. It can cause a lot of problems.
when people ask me questions about relationships, I'd be the first one to tell them, I don't know. I don't have the best track record, you know. All I could say is, all I could tell them is this: love the one who love you. Because a lot of times we run behind people that we think is our type, or that we want, and we look over the people that's loving us, right? Sometimes we just got to love the person. We got to learn to love the person that loves us. But we don't have to settle either. In the loving the person who loves us, you don't have to settle for less because they're loving you either. You know, so it's a harsh balance. You got to find a balance on what you're willing to accept and what you're not, you know? And for me, I can only talk for Shelby, but I got to understand the relationship you have with God, because God is real serious in my life. He the real deal. Like, I base a lot of stuff that I do off of him, you know, and off of the views of him. So I got to know how you feel about him and your relationship with him. So I would tell if the young Shaquita or Tyrone come to me, I was like, look at the relationship they have with God, and if he loves you, learn to love him. Simple. And don't settle. Don't settle for less. Everybody has, it's a point. It's a medium, if you would. Don't settle less than your medium, right? But if dude is at your medium, if he gives you that percentage that you good with, and he loving you, learn to love him. I just ain't found anybody here at the medium yet. I'm working on it.
But you know what? It's so funny that you mentioned love the person who loves you. My grandparents were married 57 years before my grandfather passed away. And my grandfather was 16, my grandmother was 14. They didn't really know each other. It wasn't right. Louisiana child, anything's possible. But they didn't really know each other. They knew of, right? It wasn't no dating, but they learned to love each other. But that's what they did back then. That was what it was. You like my daughter? Before you sleep with my daughter, you finna marry my daughter. And that's how it went down. My grandmother had my uncle, my oldest uncle, you know, at the age of 14. Then they had kids pretty much every year thereafter until they reached number 9 and they stopped. But back then, right. But back then, that was the norm.
9 kids, I would hate to
All
give
right.
me a deuce.
My mama's number 3. My mom's number 3. But in any case, but back then, that was what they did. You didn't even really know that person. You didn't go to the movies and let them cook for you and all that. You learn to love that person over time. You married back then for life. You know, a lot of like people now who've been married 60, 70 years, it was somebody who they liked, maybe let's say in elementary school and junior high. And that's all you knew and you just got married. As soon as you turned 15, 16, 17, you got married. You didn't really get to know each other. So I think a lot of it came from just the determination of commitment, that was the right thing to do. And you didn't give up because you didn't want to fail. You know, you didn't give up because you didn't have to. You know, you had your support system of your family, you know, backing you and supporting you and, you know, holding you down when you couldn't hold yourself. So that was the thing to do. And I think now it's become a lot easier for divorce. It's a lot easier because it's like, what, $500, $1,000 if you ain't got no kids or whatever the cost is, you know, everything is done so easily. Posted back then, you had no divorce lawyers. Like, who was you going to call to, you know, back in the 30s and the 40s? Yeah, you better stay with that man. You know, you got all them kids for that man. You better stay for that, you know, stay with that man, period. Make it work.
That's what Betty Wright said. R.I.P. to Betty Wright, but she sure said it. All the community got together and cooked y'all some food and y'all got back together.
That was
y'all
it.
worked that thing out.
That was it, that's all. So I think it was, you know, it was, hey, this is what we know. Y'all need to be together. Figure that shit out and call us. We'll have you some dinner.
So what happened to the being okay with the side pieces? Because, you know, I know a lot of men who was married, who was in relationships, and they had the little side pieces. They had a whole nother family over there. And the wife knew it and was okay with it.
I don't know
And
if
that
they
came
was
from a long
okay
time
with
ago.
it. Yeah, and I don't know if they was really okay with it.
Because not everybody knew about it. Like
Right, because
social
now,
media,
right,
nowadays, everybody
our
knows.
thing now is different
One
from
or
back
two
in the day.
people may have knew that
back
that
in
wasn't
the-
your
right.
real daddy.
So back in the day, your daddy probably had a couple of kids on down the street in Mrs. So-and-so house.
Down the street.
Nobody probably knew that like they can know it now.
Until your daddy died, and then your
And then
brother
all the kids came out the woodwork.
right. Then your brother that wasn't your brother all your life became your brother.
Right. So my grandparents, same one married for 57 years. That was their situation. Rumor is now he got 2 girls somewhere, but everybody knew. You ask my grandmama to this day, she said, yeah, I heard he had somebody down there. I don't know.
Together. They stayed together.
They
Mama
stayed
knew.
together.
Maybe one of the aunties knew.
Oh, somebody
Yep.
knew.
A
That was
couple
it.
other people might have known. Not all the kids knew.
Right.
But somebody knew, but they stayed together.
Yep.
They worked it out.
Yep.
They was willing to work it out. Okay, you did whatever you did. I might have seen so-and-so on the 20-year anniversary, but I owe you one, you know, so hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, nowadays you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Back then they had to do that. There, like I say earlier, the family dynamics was different back then. You didn't get divorced. You didn't do all of that. Well, you know, because they're all around town, your business was gonna be spread. Back then, old folks, they didn't play that mess with their business. But now it's okay. Me and 5 of my friends divorced. So I mean, it ain't no difference. You know, I don't have to deal with that kind of same things that they dealt with back then. I don't have to deal with that. You have a baby, you cheat on me, I can leave. Like, I don't have to work that thing out like they had to back in the day. So
but they celebrate.
But that also
Now they
what Simona
celebrate.
was saying, that women back then, and that's one of the topics I wish I could have brought up tonight, was the roles not have changed. Oh, and then I'm talking about Simona and she done clicked out. Okay, there you go. All right, so what you said earlier is like, ladies, they have mad paper now. They got more money than we do sometimes.
And
So not only do they pay a lot of stuff and contribute a lot more, because back in the day, the man went to work, the man knew what the bills was. The other day, Tamika asked me, what's the credit card? I gotta let you know this now. Back in the day, the men didn't have to let you know what their credit card was because they took care of everything. Now with the ladies, they contribute. So you have to let them have a voice. And like you have to listen. You have to listen because the women nowadays, they will tell you what they are saying, but you have to listen. And you have to apply to your relationship what they are saying to you, because that's the way to please them. Do what she's saying may not be far-fetched from what you believe in, but listen to them. And vice versa. The women have to listen to the man. The man might be saying, hey, I need this, this, or that. No, I might need this, this, or that, but you have to be willing to do that as well. You know what I'm saying? If I'm contributing, if this thing is 50-50, I cook in the house. Back 20, 30 years ago, women was cooking in the house. I cook in the house right now. You know, so like those things, we have to accept the differences because Simona said, our ladies is making paper now, so we got to respect that.
like that. It's good stuff.
That's true. That's true. Who didn't get to get their point of view out? I think Guy had to go. I saw him pushing his brakes in.
Yeah,
He had to make that.
Hey, he was strapped in that seatbelt. He had to go.
Okay.
He had to roll out.
Yeah, I saw him pushing his brakes in his truck. I said, oh, I saw him pushing those brakes in. It's time to roll.
Yeah.
So for our viewers, Guy's a truck driver, and he so graciously lent us some of his time tonight.
Do our viewers have any questions? Jennifer?
I'm looking right now. No, it wasn't any questions, but Fernice had a statement. She said, I believe a lot of the bitterness in older people from back then is because they didn't know the people they did marry and felt they had no other option. And I couldn't agree with everything Betty Wright said.
Yeah, me.
I think.
I don't want no piece of man.
Oh, that's right. I want a whole man. My man by myself.
I don't want no piece of him.
I'm too greedy.
I think for me, as far as the old days, I probably couldn't just be forced to marry my baby daddy because I know I scraped him, right? So I wouldn't be able to be forced to marry him because I wouldn't want to. And I know y'all probably think, then why would you have a baby by him? It was actually, I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to have no baby by him, but it happened. So I think for me, knowing that he was a cheater, knowing that he had a lot of women, because I was guilty back in this day. My daddy set a precedent for me. And I only dated men who can continue the precedent. And unfortunately, sometimes they were dope dealers or they was hustlers. So I dated the thugs. That was me. Now I'm a little bit more. I'm growner. I'm mature. And now you come to me, you a thug. I'm like, oh, who, me? Oh no, that's me now. But back then, yeah, I did. So I wouldn't be able to live the lifestyle in the 60s where, you know, the first person that you married them, and I'd look at that fool like, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I just feel like this day and time, I have the ability to take care of myself. I have the ability to have my own house, have my own car, and my own truck, and my own everything, that I don't really have to settle for whatever man to come my way. You know what I'm saying? So I think with this post, I think the difference between 1960 and 20. And what I would tell Tyrone and Shaquita is one, love who loves you. Don't settle for less. And just be happy. Don't settle for less, and just be happy with who you are. And
I always tell people,
and accept responsibilities for your actions.
I always tell people to make sure that you're being the authentic you at all times, being consistently you. Don't be switching up. Don't be changing up. Give me you, and I want you all the time, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to know you, to appreciate you, is if you're being consistent, not meeting the representative. Yeah, at the beginning, you always, that first 3 months, you got your eye on them. But month number 4, that's pretty much who you going to get. So if she shows you that she a thought, she going to stay a thought. And if he show you he a hoe, he don't answer the phone after 10, he gonna be a hoe, right? So you may want to kind of like, don't just keep trying. Well, girl, he bought me them flowers. Like Shelby was saying, you don't know why he bought them flowers.
But he might not want to answer the phone after 10 because he got to go to bed early.
He got to go to bed early.
Because he got to go to work in the
This
morning.
boo thing calling him. You think he gonna answer the phone?
You drive the man crazy.
Yeah, you better answer the phone.
So we're gonna go ahead and get off here, but I wanted to do one thing. So I posted a black card revoked, right? So I need you guys on this to tell me one thing that a black person should know, and if they don't know, they should have their black card revoked. Guy, I know you're driving, so tell me one thing a black person should know that if they don't know, they should have their black card revoked.
You never, ever, ever disrespect a black mother.
Amen. Amen. I drink to that. Damien?
You need to know how to play spades.
You sure right, Damien. You sure right.
Watch your mouth now, Damien. Watch your mouth.
Mr. and Mrs. Calhoun?
I gotta play dominoes.
What?
What'd he say?
I don't know how to play dominoes. I don't know how to play dominoes. Tell you, your brother-in-law, he needs to teach me how to play dominoes. I've been asking.
Teach her how to play.
Teach me how to play.
What else, Jennifer? What's your black card
I
revolt?
say every black person needs to know how to electric slide.
True
All right,
that.
Yeah, you can take my
What about
black.
Simone?
Oh, and Edward said it had what?
Hot sauce and syrup in the house.
How what?
We got somebody come by from East Texas.
He said you gotta have some hot sauce and some syrup in the house.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. Mhm. Okay, Simona.
All the they should know how to have some soul food on Sundays. How to cook
Right.
some food on Sundays and come together as a family. At least
What
one
you
day.
cooking, Simona? What you cooking,
All right.
Simona?
Nothing.
Come over.
Dieting.
What you coming to?
Whatever. I am dieting this week. Next week. Week after that.
Well, mine is not what they should know. I'm gonna say every black person should have a cast iron skillet.
You sure right.
For
I
your
got mine right over
cornbread.
there,
For
sitting
your
there.
cornbread. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Thomasina, off of your statement.
Mhm.
With the cast iron skillet, what should you not do to it?
You don't leave water in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or you don't watch it.
You don't wash it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You don't leave
You
water
wipe
in
that thing out, but you don't wash it.
You gotta oil it down sometime and put it in the oven and go on and
Lube it up.
get it black again. You
My
gotta
grandmama
cook
used to
it
keep hers in the oven. Just keep
Yeah.
them all in the oven, all of them.
down.
All of them. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas,
No, you go first.
What is something all black people should know? You say?
No, what you would get your card revoked.
Oh, we card revoked for? I'm gonna go real deep on y'all.
come
A
on.
dog that carries a bone will bring a bone. So what that means is all Black folks should know, if your friend talk to you about somebody else, they talking to somebody else about you.
Amen. Amen, sister.
Didn't she hit that on the nose?
Okay.
Y'all
Wow.
see me scratching my head. I can't even
Mhm.
really come back after that one. But
Wow.
I just feel like if one of your favorite movies is not Harlem Nights, Coming to America, Friday. Let's see how many more we got.
Five Heartbeat.
The Color
Okay, not
Purple.
Color
Yeah,
Purple. That's
yeah,
the
yeah. You might need to get your car revoked. But yeah, if one of your favorite movies not Cooley High,
Yeah.
the Mac. Hold on, let me throw the Mac in there. A lot of
Come
these young
on.
folks, these millennials have not watched the Mac. I
Hey,
cannot believe that.
baby. Hey,
Uptown
baby.
Saturday night.
Uptown.
Uptown said, there you go, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, if you ain't
Do it
watched
again.
these movies,
Again.
if you have not,
Use the box.
You gonna have to download that or something for me.
yeah,
What she ain't
hold on,
seen? What you ain't seen?
Let's do it again with
Car
Jay.
revoked.
Oh, let's do it again. It's good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
let's do
good,
it
but I
again.
can give you a pass on that. But
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
you ain't watched the Mac?
Oh, that was
Mhm.
good.
Oh yeah, and Cooley High too.
Okay, and Cooley High, right?
Going
Like I
back
say,
to
Coming
Jamie's
to America,
Revenge.
especially Harlem Nights. If Harlem Nights is in your top 5, then you need to have your black card.
Listen, I love Harlem Nights even more now because Bugsy Calhoun and we the Calhoun.
Yeah, they set him up. They did the white man bad. We got revenge on the white man finally.
Oh, it was cold, boy. His name was Ernest Brown.
Ernest
Ernest Brown.
Ernest.
And I say, if you Black and you don't know the 23rd song,
Oh,
you just need your Black card revoked, because that's the first thing I learned when I was like 4.
the first.
What is it?
The
What is
the
it?
first book of the Bible I learned was the 23rd song.
The
Lord
23rd
is my
Psalm.
shepherd.
Shepherd that I shall not want.
Okay.
Making me lie down in green pasture.
Okay.
I got verses 4 through 6 tattooed on my back.
Oh,
What does it
Okay,
say?
well, come through then. Come through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Damien and Guy, we want to just thank you for being on the Peace Squad.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for being active.
Thank you.
You know, just active members on our page. Guy, you've been
Yes.
slacking a little bit, but we love you though.
He's
We
trying
want
to
But I
work.
mean,
we want
Like,
to thank
I'll
you
be-
for being on our page,
Hey,
and
you
thank you
can't
for availing
head on
yourself.
God. That dude strapped on that seatbelt with the work.
Okay, he going
And
to
he
work.
put that, left that camera on and he was good. He wasn't bothering nobody. So you can't mess with him now.
Money.
I just want to thank you for being God. I just want to thank you for being my friend, because no matter what I ask you to do, you do it. And thank you for your support. You support me more than some of my own family do. So I just want to thank you for that. Just thank you for both of you guys just availing yourselves. When I asked you, it was no hesitation. It was yes, put me on. And we appreciate, how y'all engage in our page. Even Damien, you don't know me from Adam, but you accepted our friend request and you just jumped in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You just jumped in there and you've been active, and we appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you
And
for that, Damien.
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
That's
And
cool.
then thank
Like
you to
that.
all the pink ladies.
Right.
That's right. The pink
remember, it takes a
ladies.
village. Remember, it takes a village.
Okay.
And thank you. Thank you
Oh,
so
guys,
much.
we all talking that some of us haven't been through. So
Mhm.
I'm about that.
Oh, Pink Lady Bernice chimed in on the black card. She said, if you don't know Amazing Grace, you get your
Okay.
black card revoked.
Let's go ahead and throw it in trash. Just throw it in trash. If you don't know Amazing Grace,
Yeah.
throw your
Just talk.
Shut
it.
up.
you're gonna revoke it. You throw your own card in trash. You revoke your own card. Just throw it in trash. It's no good.
Shelby,
Huh.
Shelby, can you thank my husband for being on here and being the #1 Cowboys fan there is in the world?
I was fin to. I was finna come through.
Hey, you gotta love our Cowboys. I'm telling you, our Cowboys going to Super Bowl this
Oh,
year.
Lord Jesus. Need to pull out the filler,
Hold
y'all.
on now. I'm a die hard, but I'm not a hard die.
They gonna go to the Super Bowl this year, man.
I'm just not gonna stick my neck out. Hey man, I appreciate it though, but we gotta get our quarterback up in this piece first, right? So this brother ain't even signed his franchise tag. What brother you know don't want 30? Give me 34 million for 1 year. I get we regular people. Dak must not be regular people. I'm sorry. Give me 30 million. Give me $1 million for 1 year. And I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm enjoying that there is no sports on TV right now because I get my husband back for a little bit because honey, he don't give me no play when the sports is on.
Himself on Sundays after football season.
It never ends. He watches all the games. He watches them all. He watches lacrosse. He watches golf.
Everything.
He watch every swimming. He watch it all.
Swimming.
But Lisa, I'm in the next
room. They
room.
call it field bowling. We watching. Hey, I seen these people was bobbling like the little bowling pins, right? And then people was throwing dodgeballs at them. I was watching that the other day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh?
Yes. It was on ESPN Ocho.
Okay.
And
we have different.
Yes. ESPN Ocho.
I grew up like that. My daddy loves sports. So I love sports.
The guy who told me on Sundays, he be like, babe, on Sunday, don't call me on Sundays. Because I ain't gonna answer the phone.
Right.
And then he went from Sunday.
Especially if my team
he
lose,
said, okay, on football season, don't call me on Monday. So now I can't call you on Sunday or Monday. Okay, then.
Monday, Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, Thursday. If I like a college team, maybe not Saturday.
Nope.
I mean,
be like, don't call me, I'll call you.
Okay.
He told me that. Like, he tried to call me on Sunday and then went from Sunday to Monday. And I said, dude, if you tell me not to call you all this time, then I don't need to call you at all. Okay? Because it's too many days. You just got, and it just, you keep adding the days up.
Chef, yeah, you gotta just be like me. Just learn to love sports. Just watch football with him, watch basketball with him. Just learn to love it. Golf, soccer, boxing, lacrosse, tennis.
All you got to do is
the sad part is I do. No, he never just
you play on your phone. That's what she do.
Okay,
she sits in there with me, but she is not looking at nothing. She's playing on that phone.
Okay, man.
Yeah. You know.
You a killer double Dutch neck. I come from my bedroom back there where our bedroom is, way back there, and I peep around that corner. I'll be like, is it commercial? Okay, good. I get to talk to him during the commercial. When that commercial over, I'll be like, okay, bye, baby. I'm gone.
Okay,
right,
better get on out of there.
Hey, you know your role. You know when to leave, you know when to come, and you know your role.
Well, I wanted to shout out to the pink, I'm gonna call them the pink men, because whether y'all like it or not, we pink ladies, and y'all the men in their life, so y'all the pink men.
Hey, Damien, what's your favorite football team?
Huh?
Damien, what's your favorite football team?
Come on now, from Maryland, it's the Ravens all day.
Oh, Baltimore. Oh, okay. From up the
right.
See, I'm a Bills fan.
Now, if my boy can just win a playoff game, I'd be good.
He will.
I think he got it this season.
He will. He's that good.
Yeah.
I think he needs some help.
What about you, Guy? What's your favorite
Cowboys fan?
Oh, you're a Cowboys fan?
Cowboy fan, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I got a cousin that plays wide receiver for the Baltimore. I mean, he plays for Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
That's where he's
Who that man is?
Who that man is?
Who is that man?
John Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he played ball for the Ravens. He ball for the
We got him
Ravens
now.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lil Speedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't
And my
wait
other
for football
cousin played the
season.
Green Bay Packers.
love
Yeah,
it.
I can't wait either. I played football all the way up until about 10 years ago when I retired from semi-pro, man. But I love football, man. That's my passion right there.
And I love it. And
Ultimate
basketball.
team sport.
All are crazy. Lord.
Gosh,
Yeah, we
Shelby,
look
you better have
forward-
What's y'all teams, ladies? Y'all
Real
teams is what?
Real Housewives of
Real
Atlanta.
Housewives of Hollywood. Real
Forensic
Housewives of
Files.
Atlanta.
Snap
Right.
for your man.
For you for
That's
life.
it. Murder Channel.
What
Just
fan?
murder somebody. I want to
CIS,
see.
New Orleans.
I can get with those, yeah.
Pop Atlanta.
Listen, I turned on Forensic Files at night. It was somebody, you got to turn it off. I can't go to sleep to that. I'm like, I get my best sleep on Forensic Files. What you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
No.
Hey,
No.
listen, hey, if it ain't on murder, I can't sleep. It's
I
gotta
can't
be
sleep.
on murder.
Right.
The TV shows one night was a
watching-
body on there
she'll
big
be-
as that.
Listen,
Come on now.
listen to this though.
That's crazy.
Listen to this. So she'll be asleep and the murder show will be on TV.
Right.
I could change the show to like an HBO movie or some other movie.
What I say, babe?
She wakes up
Hey, I'm
automatically.
listening to that.
How you sleep but listening and I can't. Then she'll be like, your TV too loud. It's on the same volume your TV was on. So how my volume is much more higher than yours.
Hey, them murder shows help
On
me
the same
sleep
TV.
good.
Baby, it make me sleep good too.
How would you like to be told you move too much?
Oh yeah, you move too much.
He's talking about looking, he be like, how can you can't go to sleep to somebody killing somebody. Yes, I can.
I can.
I can't. I'm with
Speak to that.
I can't.
I want to see the real thing. I'm okay. I'm okay with the first 48. The only thing with the first 48 is they just show us killing us. You know what I'm saying?
That's true,
So
yeah,
fine.
that's true.
I don't really be up on
Yeah.
the first 48, but everything else, like it's
Snaps.
reenactments. I don't want to see I don't want to see the fake stuff. Show me the real stuff. If I'm
Oh
gonna-
Lord.
Explaining to you what
No,
happened. What
I
had
don't want to see the
happened was
reenactment. I don't want to see it.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Mm-mm.
We love our men.
Y'all
I
know
can't.
we used to show
It
that
be in my
autopsy of,
I
Medgar
can't
Evers
listen to that.
at the accused
How you
body.
doing, man?
That's like,
Oh, wow.
Mhm. Yep, I remember that.
Okay.
Documentary. I think it's documentary.
Documentary.
Sylvia, what was you gonna say, friend?
Huh?
I said, what were you gonna say?
Well, man, Pink Man, we just want to thank you for Mr. Thomas and Mr. Calhoun. Just thank you for your support.
No
Thank you for your support on the days that you have to be without your wife because they own the podcast.
All good.
Thank you for coming to be on the podcast. We really appreciate you. We love y'all. You know, y'all our brother-in-law. And
Yeah.
we just appreciate your support. Thank you for being here tonight
No problem.
and answering the question.
It ain't like I had nothing else to do. It was a spreading tornado, so I wasn't going nowhere. And
Okay. Nothing else to do.
I'd be doing the same thing, just in the other room.
I told him every day this week, we on live at 8 o'clock.
That was me. I told him 3 times today,
About
baby.
791, pick up
8
723.
o'clock.
Okay.
Oh,
So for
All right,
the
Pink
Pink
Ladies,
Squad,
am I
whoever's
invited back?
watching, our next podcast is
Yes, you are invited back.
Yes,
okay, I just wanted to know.
and we look forward to your post later on tonight.
Our next
Right.
podcast is May 30th, and we invited a couple of Pink Squad women to the page. Hopefully, we don't have the same issue we have. If we do,
We're gonna get on an hour
I'll
early.
shoot myself in the head. But what we want to do, like I mentioned earlier, periodically we just want to jump into when we're gonna post a question, and when I post a question, I'm gonna tell you to jump in the room. So we're not gonna answer the question on the post. We're gonna jump in the room and answer the questions. We're gonna talk face to face. Pink lady to Pink Squad, Pink ladies to Pink Squad. We're gonna get in there and talk about it. Now, what I do pray and hope that everybody realize, one, that I'm entitled to my own opinion, 2, we're going to respect each other.
Yep.
And then
Absolutely.
3, we're just going to just have a good time, you know, because we got 1,800 plus people in our group.
Yes.
Like family, you know, to me, we're like family. I say good morning every morning. So we like family. So we're just going to have a good time. So just look forward to the post and look forward to me telling y'all to hop in the room. So we don't answer here. I'm going to say clearly, don't answer here, hop in the room.
Come on.
I say hop in the room. That means we're going to answer that post question in the room. We're going to have a conversation in the room. So it's an honor being your host. It's an honor being that you guys are on our page. We're happy to have y'all. We're blessed to have y'all. And good night. Thank you for having us.
Good
Well,
night.
hold on real quick, y'all.
Oh, wait,
Hold on real
Damien.
quick.
Wait, Damien, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, thanks for the invite. And y'all group, I really love y'all group. I am leaving a lot of groups because of the immaturity and the man bashing and the female bashing. It started giving me a headache. So your group is very refreshing. I just want to tell you that. It really is.
Thank you. We appreciate you for being on. And we thank all you guys for being on. Just keep in mind that every time we come back with a question, it's not that we're challenging you. We just really want to know, why? Because, women are from Mars, men are from Venus, right? So we really don't know, for real. Like, we'd be like, okay, but why you do that? And so that's what you get back. It's not were you wrong? It's none of that.
Right.
We love all of our men, and we know our men love us ladies. So always, think of it like that first, of explaining your why. And then I think a good productive conversation will come after.
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you, Damien. We need that input because, let me just say, I need that input because I need to know that this is not in vain. You're right. Because we have meetings and we plan out stuff, and we're posting and we're trying to figure out, am I posting too much? Am I posting too little? What am I giving them enough? Am I giving them too much? And so when you tell us that this is good for you, we need to know that so we can know where the stress level should stop, because I'll be stressed out trying to figure out what trying to make this group great.
You do a good job.
Y'all are better than probably 80% of these groups out here. So-called relationship groups. Y'all about better than 80% of them better than those.
Wow.
Y'all better
Thank
than them.
you. It's a great compliment.
It is. And a lot of people, what we want them to know is, that's why I always stress it's not a date group. We're not trying to hook nobody up. What we're trying to do is, my questions that I be asking is trying to help you see you. Even 9 times out of 10, I post the questions, and even when I answer it, I be like, it make me look at me, and it's my question. You know what I'm saying? It's my question, and it make me look at. When I respond to it, I be like, dang, that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole purpose of the group, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Absolutely.
But we're gonna go ahead and let you guys go. We had a late start. Thank you for your patience.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. I might have to start up a GoFundMe so I can get me a new laptop. Maybe it's the laptop. I don't know.
But we pay. Hey, squad, Pink Squad. Listen. We didn't pay for a whole membership for this Zoom. So if y'all know any other platform besides WebEx that can be able to link us to Facebook, something that you personally tried, not that you heard Kiki and them use, but something that you've tried and you've seen that works, you've been on it, let us know, because we kept pushing that live button tonight, and we went live for 3 minutes, and then the button said bye-bye. And then so we had to keep reconnecting and shutting the system down. Listen, we done got a whole buzz trying to wait on this doggone live. So if you find a program or hear a program, please shoot a message to the inbox and we can test it out and try it out, because we don't want to start late. Listen, we've been on this thing since 7:45. We didn't start till 9.
I've been on it since 7 o'clock, trying to make sure that everything is doing whatever. I do periodic tests during the week. Y'all see those random test posts? That's me testing out stuff, trying to make sure everything is great. It chaps my hide when I start late. I be wanting to cancel the whole program, me myself.
See, she's an on
I don't
time.
like starting late. I don't like doing typical. I don't like to be typical, right? So I don't like
Right.
starting late. I don't like poor customer service. I don't like none of that. I like everything to be done in excellence. So when it's not excellent, it chaps my heart.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I be practicing and doing and trying to go over it so it can be excellent. And then when it don't go after I've done all of that, I be ready to throw a laptop out the window. I need my window, y'all.
Okay.
So
Don't set up a GoFundMe.
right. I need to set up something to get me a new lap. I don't know what it is actually.
Best
I don't know if
Buy.
it's the internet, the laptop. I don't know if it's Zoom. I don't know what it is, but
Hey, listen,
Pay for
y'all
this
Pink Squad. Y'all Pink Squad, if y'all work for Best Buy or Walmart, inboxes. We need
I'll let you
discount. Like for real.
I'll let you know.
Love y'all though. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all
Y'all
for
be
joining. We
blessed.
appreciate you.
Thank
Bye.
All right,
y'all.
y'all.
We love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Drive carefully, guys.
Be careful, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Thomasina.
Bye.
Bye, Thomasina.
Bye, Damien. Bye, Damien.
Like messing